I'd like to start the video thanking everyone who watched one of my videos regarding the first date experiences, stories from TikTok. You seem to be performing quite well. We're on over 1,000 views, which is warming my heart so much. So thank you so much for everybody who tuned in and commented and enjoyed the video. And since you seem to like this format, I decided to do exactly the same thing again. I would like to start this video today with a man, with his horrible first date story. Funny enough, I don't know if it's me who is so not versed with TikTok, but I did really struggle to find the really bad stories coming from the men. So Zakir is here to save the day, and we start with him.
I just went on a first date, and it was fucking horrible, man! Train wreck! Garbage! Waste of time! It blows my mind how fucking crazy people are. And how shitty the dating pool is. You've got to listen to this. I matched with a lady.
Just by the way, I've been laughing massively because I just love how he started the video. I just found it entertaining. And yeah, dating pool is not the easiest thing to swim in and get your bearings or fish and try to find your goldfish. What an analogy. Well, yeah, let's just keep watching Zakir.
Crazy lady. Let's call her Sydney on Bumble. Now, you must be thinking, Zakir, why do you keep using Bumble? Why do you keep using dating apps? Because you know what? You can't lose hope. You never know. You never know. I come across Sydney's profile and I'm like,
I must admit, props to Zakir for not giving up, that he keeps trying and is trying to find his true love.
Wow, she's very cute. She messages me first and she was like, hello, how is your day going? Even though that's one of the most boring fucking responses you could ever say on a dating app, but understandable, respectable. I responded. I said, I just took a shat. How was your day? And she's like, oh, it was going well, just finishing up work. I'm like, wow.
I love this. I just took a shit. Honestly, if it was me, it would entice me. 100%. You've got me there, Zakir.
That's cool. What do you do for work? And then the conversation goes from there. I tell her, hey, let's get off the apps. What's your number? We start texting. She has an iPhone. Green flag. I also noticed that she has her Instagram handle in her Bumble profile. So I did some detective research and I looked up her profile. Now, she was on private. Her bio says mom to baby, let's say, Charles. R.I.P. dad. And it has the date. I'm like, okay, all right. She's a mom, lost her dad, getting those details, whatever.
Oh, okay, because my immediate thought was R.I.P. dad of the kids. Like, yeah, anything to do with that? I need to get off true crime YouTube. Sorry, it's just my mind.
Moving on. So Sydney and I are talking for a little bit. Talking about movies and shows and all that interesting stuff that you talk about in the talking stage leading up to the first date. So I planned for our first date tonight. And I said, hey, let's grab a drink and some food. You hungry? And she's like, yes, I could eat anything. Let's do it. I said, okay. I sent her the name of the place. I told her what time. I said 7:30. Be there, be square. She's like, perfect. She calls me at 6:30 saying, hey, I'm here. I said 7:30, not 6:30. She's like, oh, well, I'm already here. I'm like, okay, don't worry. I'm rushing to get out of the door and head on to my way to go see her. Now, I meet up.
Well, Maybe she was just very, very hungry. That's why she mixed up the hours. I don't know. Or just simply read it wrong.
With Sydney at this American restaurant, and she looks 10% of what her photos look like. Now, did I panic a little bit and start thinking multiple things? Yes. Did I also think that maybe what if she's a serial killer? Yes. And also, did I think about if she may be hiding things about her personal life, if she's hiding about what she looks like? And yes.
Zakir, seems like you're also watching too much true crime. No, jokes aside, it's not right on anybody's part. Either man catfishing or woman catfishing. Both parties can feel unsafe. Simple as that.
I kid you not, she looked 10 to 15 years older than her actual photos on her Bumble profile. Just throwing that out there. But I brushed it aside. I wanted to get to know her for who she is, see how it goes. And I met her and I was like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I'm Zakir. Nice to meet you. She's like, hi, I'm Sydney. So great we got to finally do this. I'm like, me too, lady. So what I noticed from her profile was that she had very longer hair. It was more voluminous. And when I met her, shorter hair. Let's just say she had the Karen hairstyle. We walk in, the host takes us to our table. We look at the menu.
I think that's the biggest red flag out of them all. The Karen's hairstyle.
I'm like, hey, is there anything that catches your eye? Anything you have in mind that you want to get? She said, oh, I'm not too sure. I might do, something small like an appetizer, like maybe the fried pickles or maybe some calamari. I'm not sure. So then I said, feel free to get whatever you want, lady. Anything you want, just get it. Not actually.
Oh my God, is it one of those cases where she goes on a date with you just to eat, and then she's gonna order shitloads of food? I'm worried that's the case.
But I was like, oh yeah, feel free to get anything you want, whatever you like. She was like, I think I'll do the fried pickles. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds great. I call our server over, and she's like, hi, what can I get for you? And Sydney goes, is there any chance that you can serve me 53 fried pickles? 53 pickles.
Honestly, I don't even know what those fried pickles are, but I know the size of the pickles. And that sounds, pickles aren't that big, but that sounds like a lot. Oh, is she planning feeding her children too? Sorry, Zakir. I feel terrible for laughing.
On one plate. And she said, you want 53 fried pickles on a plate. There is 6 fried pickles in one order. 6 fried pickles in one order. And she wanted 53. And she said, yes. Lady! 53 is not even a multiple of 6. How the fuck are you gonna goddamn do the adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying to get a 53 on one goddamn plate, lady? Are you fucking crazy?
Also, why 53? Why this number? Like he said, it's not even the number when you multiply it. Did he say 6? 6 is in one order? So it should be 54? Gosh, am I doing the math right? I hope I do. But, yeah, why such an odd number?
So our server starts getting stressed out and she's like, let me go check with the manager and see if we can do that and fit it all on one plate. And Sydney goes, why can't you just fucking put it on a plate? It's not that hard. And I'm like, okay.
I'm sorry, I feel like I keep stopping Zakir all the time. I hate when people are being this plain rude to servers. I've done my share of mistakes when it comes to ordering stuff, saying something different than I actually was thinking in my head. And I will ask for what I really wanted, but I will still pay for what was wrong first with that order. So, for example, that comes to my head. I went out with my friend, and I hate almond milk with a passion. And I wanted to order hot chocolate, so I've asked what kind of milks they have, the server. I listed like 4 or 5 of them, and I was thinking to myself in my head, oh, I hate almond milk so much. And I was convinced that I said, can I have oat milk? And my hot chocolate came with almond milk, and I couldn't believe. I just was so baffled. Like, did I seriously say almond milk? Maybe it's my accent and I was misunderstood. But then again, I think my almond and oat sound a little bit different. So I couldn't face drinking that hot chocolate with almond milk because I really despise that taste. I like almonds, but not the milk. So I've asked the server to get me another chocolate with oat milk, but I said to add it to the bill because that's my mistake, because I clearly said wrong what kind of milk I wanted.
Maybe she secretly is a Karen. Ha ha ha. Crazy lady. Our server walks off, and I tell Sydney, I'm like, look, I don't think that was cool the way you talked to our server like that. Extremely inappropriate. I'm not going to tolerate that. She was like, well, I'm sorry, but I just got heated in the moment, and the customer's always right, and I'm an advocate for that. I'm like, okay.
Seriously, I'm the person who worked in customer service for a fair few years when I was a lot younger. And no, customer isn't always right.
I'm a little pissed off. So I passive aggressively ask her, and I'm like, what's so special about the number 53? You could have chosen any fucking number in the universe. And why did you pick 53? For the amount of fried pickles? She said, I don't know, just like odd numbers. Lady, you are a fucking odd number yourself. How about that, lady? So our server brings 53 fried pickles across 4 plates. Not 1, 4 plates. And she's happy. Life is good. The date can carry on. She's enjoying her fried pickles. I'm enjoying my sliders and basket of fries because I like that kind of shit. So then she asked me, she said, so do you see yourself like having kids at any point? I said, with the right person, I would be open to having kids, seeing how it goes. But if it's not on the cards and I'm happy with the person I'm with, then life will be good. I was like, how about you? Do you want kids or have any kids? And she's like, no, I don't have any kids. And mentally, I'm like,
what a liar! Oh my god. Honestly, again, now the speech to the woman. Where are you coming from, ladies? Why are you being like that? We can easily verify that if you've got kids or not. As he already did prior to the date. Ugh.
Fucking liar! And I'm like, okay, interesting. In my head, I'm like, I have to find a way to leave this date because I don't feel comfortable with someone who, A, wasn't true about how they look, B, was rude to our waiter, C, lied about having a kid, saying that she doesn't have any kids. It's time to go. So I said, excuse me, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. BRB. Went to the bathroom, I freshened up, I came back out, I see our table, and it's completely cleared out. I was surprised the table was still fucking there, knowing her. I walk back to the table and I see a piece of paper, I'm like, what is this? And it's the check. I paid $140 worth of fried pickles tonight. And I went up to the host.
Oh my fucking god. Another person like this. People, stop having such audacity. This is just so off-putting. I can't believe. I think I'm getting more depressed reacting to videos like this. I just feel sorry for everybody who is in a dating pool and trying to find a partner.
I said, she took the fried pickles home, didn't she? She said yes. there was no sight of Sydney, and I am furious. But I still have my health. Mental health is a little bit on edge. It's fine. No big deal. But I really needed to tell TikTok about this because I am on my last straw with dating and I'm reaching my breaking point. So just thought I'd let you know, be careful of crazy people, the crazy ladies and the crazy gents. And stay positive, everybody. Bye-bye, ta-ta!
I'm so sorry, Zakir. Honestly, I wish you all the best in the future. I hope you find your lady. And maybe online dating is not the thing for you. Or anyone really. Based on what I'm hearing from people. Bless your heart. Right, let's move on to the next person. This one will be a lady. So this next TikTok is from Daisy. And she's talking about the worst first date she's ever been to or been on.
So I met this guy on Hinge, which I know now is probably my first mistake, but because I was back in my hometown and I just don't really know anybody, that's what I resorted to. And this is about 6 months postpartum for me, and as you guys know, I went through my pregnancy pretty much single most of the time. Not pretty much single, but pretty much most of the time. And I actually have a way crazier dating story than this that I'm debating on sharing, and this took place right after. I may or may not have been flown out first class to see an ex and got a few or maybe $10,000 spent on me in a weekend.
A what? Huh? She went on a date 6 months after she gave birth, but she was single for the most part of this for her pregnancy. So clearly her and her ex didn't pan out. But then she says she's been flown out somewhere by her ex and he spent 10k on her. Let's not dive into it. Let's just listen to this current story.
So comment if you want to hear that story. But today we're talking about the worst first Hinge date ever. So I definitely have a type of guy that I like, and it's typically foreign pro athletes. And this guy fit into that category. My son's biological dad is a Brazilian pro surfer. I know. This guy was an Italian soccer player. So we match, and he actually is a coach for a college around where I live. And he's pretty cute. He's not like drop dead gorgeous, but he's pretty cute. Well, so the thing about me is I'm a bad texter. I don't like to text, and I'm just bad at it, but I'm also not going to call some guy that I've never met in person, you know? So I wouldn't want to date me. Like, I would not want to try to set up a first date with me. I will take full accountability for that I am probably not the easiest person.
Well done. When it comes to some awareness, Daisy. Bless.
To set that up with, I've been told. But I think that's just because I usually meet people that I date in real life. Like, I'm always meeting them organically. They at least can experience my personality a little bit, and I can experience theirs, and then we'll just naturally kind of hang out or whatever from there. But this is different. This is a dating app. So we match, then we follow each other on Instagram, and I don't post on my dating profile that I have a kid, okay? And that's not to keep Soul a secret at all. It's just, I don't know, I just feel kind of weird. I don't want to be targeted for having a kid. I don't know. But he is all over my Instagram, and I have my Instagram and my...
If you don't want to be targeted for your kid, don't post your kid whatsoever. I really can't stand when people posting on social media their children. You know, it's all good to say everybody can do what they freaking want, but there is no consent when it comes to your kids. Stop posting them.
Dating profiles. So usually they will, well, I mean, this is the only Hinge date I've had. So he got on my Instagram and obviously saw that I had a kid. So he follows me on Instagram, and like I said, I'm just a bad texter, so he kind of DMs me on there, but he ended up just getting my phone number, and he was traveling for soccer for like his work. So we just kind of like set up a date, or he sets up a date, and he asked me to go to drinks at this place like I don't know, it looked cute. I like pretty much only like drinking tequila, and he didn't even know that, and it was like a tequila place. So he set the date up for like the day after he came back from his like soccer game, traveling, whatever, and he was somewhere on the west coast. I don't even really remember, but there was a waterfall. And on my Instagram I have plenty of like waterfall pictures, and like I said, we were not really texting. Like, I'm not somebody that's gonna be like, how's your day going? Like, I don't know you. So I think the day before the date, he like sent me a picture of this waterfall, and he's like, I think you'd like this. And I'm like, I do like that, thanks. I wouldn't want to to text.
Yeah, honestly. I'm surprised this guy keeps even responding to you. What's the point in you matching with a guy on Hinge and going online dating if you prefer meeting people in real life? And you just like responding like half-assed like this to the guy.
To text me. But it definitely didn't seem like he was too much of a talker over text either. Like, I wasn't not responding to his text. So I'm like, well, we already have something set up, like, not a big deal. And I was honestly kind of excited because I just felt like he seemed like a vibe. I don't know why I thought that. Also, his Instagram had like 100 followers, which I really liked. I really liked that. He, of course, since he only had 100 followers, he only followed like a few people, and I could scroll through it real quick. Like, I don't care if that sounds crazy, and yeah, there's nothing like sus or weird in it. So I thought that was green flags. Well, the time rolls around to go on this date.
Well, in theory, it could be a green flag that he only has this many followers and that he keeps it very private. But then if he's open, I don't know that, but could suggest, then that could suggest actually quite opposite, the red flag, suggesting that he's got some different account with much more followers. And this one is just like a covered one. So I'm not so sure about that.
Date, and I get ready. I'm dressed like pretty cute, but like casual, you know, like I just wore like jeans and like a free people top, and I think like heels. And it's also said that he was like 6'1" and he's a goalie, so like that made sense to me. And I also played soccer my whole life. Like, I love soccer, so I thought this was gonna go super good. Like, I thought we were gonna have a really good conversation. So when I was walking up to him, like my first, I don't know how to explain it, but just vibe was, oh no, like this is not it. I don't know how to explain it. I've never had that feeling before. He didn't look like his pictures, but he didn't look bad. He just didn't look like his pictures. I can't explain it. Which, I mean, he did look worse than his pictures. He just was not as tall. He was very, very thin. And in his pictures, he did not look that thin. And I'm just not into skinny guys, sorry.
So another case of catfishing. Maybe he is pretending again to be somebody who really isn't. And that's why this Instagram account only has this many followers, because it's a fake account. Maybe he photoshopped those pictures or something and pretends to be, was it a soccer player? Yeah, could be anything like that.
He was wearing like skinny jeans, which I think is maybe like a European thing. I don't know. But the conversation was so terrible, and it was not a language barrier. It was not anything. Like, he did not ask me anything, and I am good at conversations. I like to talk. It was just so weird. I don't know if I catfished him. I don't know if he thought I was like super unattractive or not like my photos. And I will say my photos on Hinge are a lot of like bikini pictures, just because that's what I have. So yeah, I don't
know where she lives, in States or Australia or whatever. But yeah.
Bikini pictures are just what I have. I don't have any other pictures. And I find it funny.
I find it hard to believe that you don't have any pictures where you actually wear clothes.
know what I don't know how to explain it. Like, I genuinely don't know. This was the weirdest first date I've ever been on. Like, I was trying to ask him questions about Italy and his work, and like I would get like one-word answers. This is gonna sound maybe meaner than like what I'm intending it to sound like, but he had no aura, he had no riz, he had no vibe. It was just so weird. I thought maybe he has like a girlfriend or something. I don't know. I don't know. I have no explanation for this. Yeah, and then he
simply just weren't vibing, both of you. You just seems like you're not right match whatsoever, so that's the easiest answer to that.
He never texted me again. Actually, I never saved his number, and I did get a text like a week later from an unknown number, but I have a bunch of unknown numbers, so he could have texted me again. Actually, I don't want to like just say he never texted me again, but if that was him, it was just, hey, I don't know. It was so weird. So yeah, I ended up obviously like unfollowing him on Instagram because I'm like, I'm not gonna be one of your 100 followers. I don't know, it was just so odd. And especially in his line of work, there's opportunity for him to meet lots of girls. And I'm not saying like, oh, why is he single, because obviously people can be single at any age for any reason. And I think he was 30. I mean, I've just never experienced it.
How about, since you like to only date specific type of guys, like athletes, pro athletes and so on, maybe that says something about you, that you don't really want to settle and not commit to anything? Just saying. Reverse psychology here.
Anything like that. Like, he asked me no questions about my son, which I understand could be like kind of weird for a first date, but like, I have honestly been on, not like a lot of dates, but I've been on dates with a few guys. Well, like 3. Seem like a little like scared or cautious of me having a kid. I don't really know. And it didn't give the vibe of like he was just trying to...
I'm sorry, I'm doing that again now. I'm just pausing so many times. Yeah, it might be loads of reasons. Some people might just not want to have kids at all. I'm a perfect example of it, and I probably wouldn't date the guy who's got kids because I would find it difficult. Simply as that. Everybody has their reasons why they don't want family. I never wanted that. So he might not be weirded out, but maybe it's not something that he's looking to have, and maybe he was just hoping for a quick hookup. Who knows?
Have a hookup with somebody? I don't know. Also, when we ordered drinks, like, we each only got one, which I was fine with. Like, I don't really drink, but like to not even offer like to get me another one, and we sat there for 2 hours.
Oh my god, I'll be driving you guys crazy. Can we finally stop with this, ladies? Expecting that men will be buying us drinks, or girls, you know, if we into the same gender. Can we just stop expecting stuff from people? If I'm going out and having drinks, having a date with somebody, I'm gonna pay for my stuff. I don't need anybody to pay it for me. Unless we agreed that, unless they say and propose, here you go, I'd like to pay for you. Can we just stop that narrative that men have to pay for you? And if you like that, just make it known from the get-go that you're that kind of woman who likes that old-fashioned approach. When you're on a date, you like to have drinks being paid for by a man who you're on a date with. Just state it straight away. Don't expect that everybody has the same values as you do.
Having the driest conversation ever. I can't tell you how many times I like tried to like leave, and then he'd just be like, oh, like he would kind of start a conversation. If you hear Sully's underneath me crawling, it was just so strange. It was so strange. And yeah, like what I was saying, his job, like he works at a college like in downtown Kansas City. Like he could definitely be picking up girls, especially like he was cute enough and he's like Italian. Like I don't know, it was weird. So yeah, honestly that was
I really struggle with this. Why are we trying to read into stuff so much and try to find some explanation to how the date went? How about you admit that you went on a date with a guy who you hardly were responding to, who when you meet appears to not look exactly the same way as his pictures would suggest, that he was a lot thinner. Can't remember what else you pointed there, Daisy, but sometimes it feels like we internally as humans trying to justify our decisions and our feeling and the vibe and just shift that blame on that other person. Maybe, let's theorize here, maybe he could feel that you're not feeling him. And then it made it much more difficult for him to actually strike the conversation, made him even more shy. Maybe he's just a shy guy and he really struggles with interactions like this.
Probably the weirdest first date I have ever been on. And I haven't been on a date since that. That was about a month and a half ago. But like I said, I have way more interesting dating stories. I realized that my dating life is kind of crazy and always has been. So that was just like a really lame first date.
Again, Daisy, like with everybody else, I wish you the best in your life in general and finding the partner that suits you. But just one word of advice, let's stay open-minded to everyone, not only you, Daisy, including myself. Okay, so this next story is from Lauren.
I just got back from the most horrifying first date of my life, and I need a therapist, I have trauma, like this was terrifying. I've been friends with this guy on social media, and he has been, a friend of mine for a little while, and he asked me on a date. Why not? I'm single. He's a good looking guy. So I said yes. I said, you know what? Yes, I will go on a date with you. So I don't really hang out with this person. I've never really hung out with him. So I got all dressed, got ready, and drove my little happy ass to the restaurant. When I get there, he's sitting there all nice, He's sitting there in his little,
I'm sorry, if you don't know, I live on a narrowboat. And those camera shots just flying about like this, it's actually making me sick. Where's that swaying on my boat? Calm down with that camera, Lauren.
Outfit that he's looking good, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be nice. We have appetizers. So I get up to go to the bathroom, I come back, and this man has a book on the table. I'm like, that's weird. I was like, did the waiter bring us like some sort of like book? Like, what is this? And he's like, no. I brought this.
Okay, so what's the problem with him having a book on him? And he was reading when he was waiting for you. Let's find a part 2, because that's the end of part 1, by the way.
I was like, oh, okay. So this man proceeds to open this book. Inside were 100 photos of him and I. What? At first I was confused, horrified, but confused. Where did you get these? And then I realized they were AI generated pictures. He had AI generated photographs.
Uh-oh, we've got a stalker situation here, Lauren. Run, and keep that camera straight when you do.
Of us, if we were to be a couple. And it doesn't end there. He kept flipping the pages of the book, and it just got progressively worse. It was like, oh, here are what our dogs would look like, and here are what our children would potentially look like, and totally straight-faced normal. Like this, and by the way, like, if you were to see this man, you would be like on a normal day, you'd be like, oh, he's really cute, and he's probably normal, and he definitely wouldn't have a scrapbook full of AI
Honestly, never judge the book by its cover. You never know. Even when you're being trained in the retail, oftentimes they just show you like a real people who are thieves in that store or any store in the franchise, and you'd be so surprised that people who stereotypically will fit their bill weren't the ones. So the stalker might be the cutest guy in the world, but he's still a stalker. Don't worry.
generated pictures of me and him on our first date. That would not happen. That's what I would think if I saw him, but that's just, So, needless to say, I'm the kind of person that will just, that's awesome, until the date's over, and then I will leave and I will never talk to you again, because I don't want you to murder me, because you have just shown me a scrapbook full of potential photos of our life together, and I am maybe ending that for you, that dream that you might have had. You're gonna kill me. So I don't usually say anything initially, but yeah, that was insane, and I don't think I'm gonna be going out on a date again for a while.
All right, that was short and sweet story. Yeah. Honestly, I think I've said it before. This makes me so much more depressed. I always advocate for, saying, let's look and seek good in people. But this just makes me depressed. I'm a fool. Oh well. Yeah, I think I've finished the video on this. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave the comments in a section. Comment section. My brain is not working. Bye.